Hello everyone and welcome to KCG Racing League Round 2 hosted by tracc.eu. Today, of course, as I said, this is Round 2 and we are going to be racing in Dubai as we see one of our drivers already almost losing it here, breaking into a corner. My name is Julian Strasse, I am the admin of tracc.eu, and with me today in the commentary booth, I'm very happy to say, is... Okay, I don't think he wants to say anything.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say my name for me.
Now, please introduce yourself.
I am Jordan Brunch, and I flew 3,300 miles to be here.
Exactly. From Canada all the way to Scotland while our studio is in Austria. So, yeah, slight miscommunication there. Doesn't matter. We're here now, and we're gonna quickly look at a track lap that has been prepared before the race.
Hello everyone, my name is Julian and I'll take you around the lap at the Dubai Aerodrome and Porsche 992 GT3R. Coming into turn 1, we're going to brake at about the 100, down into third gear, using a bit of curb to rotate the car, same in turn 2, fourth gear now, into this right kink, lifting off at the exit road, fifth gear, rumbling over that curb, rumbling over the second curb, staying tight, braking at the 50, getting a good exit. Now we're going to brake at the kink, second gear, onto this long straight now. A good exit is crucial for lap time here. We're going to reach about 255 kph now, so 6th gear of course. Coming into this hairpin, braking at the 100 board, into first gear. Not using all of the track to open up this corner here. Going all the way out wide to the exit curb. Braking at the 50 now. Second gear. Making sure to get a good exit. Now 5th gear, coming into sector 3. Into the hairpin we're going to brake between the 50 and the 100. Second gear, really late apex to open up this next corner right here. 3rd gear, small lift. Using all of the track. 3rd gear into the last corner. Running it out wide, and that's a lap around the Dubai Aerodrome. Thanks for watching and see you at the racetrack.
And that, of course, was a track lap, as one of our commentators has already realized, by our own Julian Metzner, who is also, I think, going to be racing today. Well, maybe not. Oh yeah, he's currently in the server, just hasn't set a lap yet. Anyways, we're now in the qualifying session, and we are currently on board with Jiří Kratochvil. There we go, we will now see, yes, Jiří Kratochvil for Petrolhead Sim Racing, driving with the Ferrari 296. So yeah, Jordan, do you have any experiences with Dubai?
No.
Nothing whatsoever.
I will be honest with the viewers. I've never driven this track. I know more about the cars, but racing here than the track itself. So.
Oh, but have you at least seen some racing going on here? Because this is a rather famous, or rather common nowadays, endurance track, especially for Asian Le Mans series, as well as the 24-hour series come here, I think, as well.
The only racing I've seen here is just drivers and the track lap. I will be honest.
That is fair enough. Anyways, Dubai is a great circuit, especially for endurance racing, as I've said before. It is a very wide track, enabling drivers to overtake easily, and especially making multiclass easier than it could be in other circuits. I'm not gonna call out any smaller circuits right now. Olsen Park or Snetterton or something. These are good circuits, but they're not so good for multiclass in my opinion.
I find it very amusing you've named 2 English tracks there.
Well, yeah, honestly, those are just the first 2 that came to mind. But I can also put in, for all fairness, I can put in 2 Austrian tracks, actually. Both Austrian tracks, Salzburgring, as well as Red Bull Ring.
Red Bull Ring.
Yeah. Casually forgetting the more famous one.
Some may say the A1 Ring.
Oh, that's an old name, yeah. But yeah, both of those are not the best for multi-class racing, in my opinion.
I forgot the name of the Red Bull Ring, and they would call it the A1 Ring. But very, very nice to see a brand new track for me. Is it a new track for you, Julian?
Which track?
This track.
This track, Dubai. I have personally never driven on here, but it's just... I know it from endurance racing, as I said earlier.
Oh, we can say comfortably this is a new track to the track stratosphere. So today will be a day in history where we'll be adding a new track to the ever-growing track list of tracks will compete at tracc.eu.
Is it a completely new track? I think we've done it on LMU, Dubai Outer. Was it Dubai or was it? I don't know.
I know it was. I'm pretty sure it was the one that they did in Formula 1, Bahrain.
Bahrain Outer, right. Yeah, that's another nice Middle Eastern circuit. So, currently on board with Jiri Kratochvil again, has a few purple sectors in the first and second one. So looking to challenge Thorsten Leber here for the lead in qualifying. There's 12 minutes left. And let's take a look. Will it be enough? It is! Beautiful. So the Czech driver currently in the lead as we're now on board with Colin Barker. One of, as I said last time, classic driver for track events. Has been with us 4 years ago when we were founded, and back with us now as we're doing this beautiful KCG revival, as we see Cody Nikola Latkovsky coming across the line for P2.
It's good to see some old faces pop back up, but talking about old faces popping back up, the one and only Lucas Fischer and the Franz Herrenmobile.
Exactly.
From the Nordschleife to Abu Dhabi.
Exactly. Sponsored by Red Bull, 100% confirmed.
And Verstappen.com racing as well.
Apparently so. Stays in P4, however, improves the time only less than a 100th behind Thorsten Leber for P3. Oh, that is shaping up to be quite a battle.
Yeah, and more of a class I understand. TCRs. It's good to see some usuals in the race with Sebastian Rossi and Joey Metzner and Zoaki Hara. So it's good to see some familiar faces from our current day track. So we see Joey Metzner in the TCR. Alantra just finished their lap, and Mike Kroch in the Mercedes-Benz, which doesn't have a number or sponsors.
I think Mike Koch, and I'm just gonna say Koch because it sounds like a German name to me as a German-speaking person. I
apologize if I mispronounced their name.
I mean, fair enough.
Apologies.
The flag is not quite the German flag, so
What
it's.
flag is that?
I'm tempted to say. This is something in the South African region.
It is the flag of Uganda.
Uganda, right? Beautiful.
Here's another flag I do not recognize.
That's one that you don't see very often in racing, so it's beautiful to see someone from that part of Africa driving with us today. As we're currently on with Cody Nikola-Latkowski. Last time, not the best in quali, but pretty much dominated the field in the race. Today looking to put on a better qualifying performance. The first two sectors already being purple. So what is going to happen in the third? One more corner left to go. Cody Nikola-Latkowski is now coming up to the start-finish straight. Will it be enough? It will be enough! By 256 thousandths. Just a little less than a quarter of a second. That is a hammer. That is a statement.
Oh, here's another Red Bull sponsored car, which you see more in ACC nowadays. The Audi R8 was it LM Evo 2?
Audi R8 LMS Evo 2, or yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
All I'm gonna say is that is a very bold pick to pick the Audi. Granted, I don't know how that Audi handles in RaceRoom. I've always tried in ACC, but if it's anything like it's in ACC, it's definitely well, it's, how should I put it in very kind terms? It is
in ACC, it's challenging to drive.
It is a Sudindri. Was it? How do you say it? The Sundari? That's how you say it.
That is a very weeb term of you. I'm glad you picked it up at the Anime Expo that you have recently been at.
Yes, where I fun enough met another member of staff, the one and only Alex Curdo.
Exactly, you did. So as we're going on, it seems like Cody Nikola-Latkowski just wants to further cement his lead here. Look at that, over a quarter of a tenth quicker in the second sector.
Definitely, it's really good to see this Manfred Racing Porsche doing so well outside of Germany. So we'll see how the Porsche stacks up here. They're already in the lead of qualifying, but can they cement an even bigger lead?
Oh, this looks good. It did not improve the lap. Okay.
Or was it?
Maybe just invalidated towards the end there. I don't know. Still 2.5 tenths ahead. Fanatec Stofko now trying to improve on their lap. Currently in the middle sector. First sector was already green, so best personal sector. That's going to be cool to see whether they can improve themselves.
Racing with the Wacky number 7, so we'll see if the Wacky number 7 will do some wonders for Stofko in the Audi, but currently sitting 6th in qualifying overall and 6th in the GT3 class. So let's see how the Audi stacks up to its other fellow German manufacturers.
The last sector, the middle sector, was not the best that Fanatec has done today, it seems. Finishing the lap, not improving, unfortunately. Of course, we also have PCR cars, as we're switching perfectly on cue to Sven Mackenberg driving the Golf GTI.
This is a car I have saw in person. Granted, I didn't see it race. However, I did see a Golf TCR, so it's very interesting to see such a underutilized TCR make an appearance, and currently in the lead of the TCRs.
You're right, it hasn't been used very often recently. As we're now on board with Joe Senna with the Peugeot.
Another car you don't see as much in TCR, or at least in TCR UK.
Nowadays they are not the most used anymore. Oh, quite a lot of tire smoke coming off there. Joe Senna, let's see, improves into P1 even. Wow, that is 800s ahead of Sven Mackenberg. Joe Senna, of course, from last race, has a 6 kilogram penalty, 10 kilogram penalty, success ballast, if I recall correctly.
I will say the top 3 in TCRs are very different manufacturer-wise. It's not your usual top 3 manufacturers you see racing-wise.
Yeah, that is absolutely correct. That is because all of the TCRs in terms of RaceRoom are BOP'd in a quite nice manner. IRL, well, there are technical advances for many manufacturers. That's why, for example, to my great disappointment, we don't see very much Opel Astra TCR racing anymore, as Fanatec Stoffko is now coming up to finish his lap, not improving, unfortunately. But yeah, current lead in TCR is, of course, Joe Senna in the Peugeot, followed by Sven Mackenberg in the Golf, and then Sebastiano Rossi in the Alfa Romeo.
Is that very interesting? A Volkswagen, a Peugeot, and an Alfa Romeo, top 3 of TCRs. That's a trio of manufacturers you don't really see together, but very interesting nonetheless.
You don't. GT3 is much less uninteresting there, as we've got the Porsche currently in the lead in front of a Ferrari 296 and another Porsche 992, as Cody Nikola Latkovsky again coming in with the purple sectors. Let's see if this time he can improve in the end on his lap.
I still find it very just interesting, the spread of the field. Oh, we have a new lead for the TCRs. The Volkswagen is now currently top in both GT3 and TCR.
Oh, and look at that. Cody Nikola Latkovsky, half a second quicker than the previous lap time. Now 7.5 tenths ahead of P2, Yuri Krachtovil. And yeah, in the meantime, Sven Mackenberg came around to re-snatch the pole in front of Joe Senna and Sebastiano Rossi. And of course, this is also the trio that last time around won the podium. And those are the 3 that have the success ballast. Interestingly, Sebastiano Rossi having the highest of the success ballast, of course, winning last time and getting 14 kilograms put on top this time around.
Here's a car you'd see a lot more in TCRs, the Hyundai Elantra. So, let's say the new kid in the block is, well, whacking behind some of its older competitors, model-wise, but still good to see some modern representation in the TCR class.
Yeah, it seems though that Akihara especially is struggling here a bit with the Hyundai, as we see another Peugeot is now on top. It's Saulius Laurinavicius being in the lead for TCRs now for the qualifying with 1.5 minutes left to go. That means they will not come around to complete another lap. However, potentially a few other cars can append the Lithuanian driver.
This is just magical to see. I'm just in awe. We're seeing a competitive Peugeot. Man, this is the first time in probably a decade outside of the WRC.
Quite potentially, yeah. I mean, as I said, they're still quite on the BOP around RaceRoom. But yeah, it looks quite good for Saulius Laurinavicius to actually qualify in P1 for the TCR class here. That would also put 2 separate. Oh, as Sven Mackenberg comes around and just defeats that by, what is that? It's almost nothing. That's 200. That's 200ths of a second there between Sven Mackenberg and Saulius Laurinavicius. Oh, they are gonna have a battle, it seems. And here we go. We have the final qualifying results. We have Cody Nikola Latkovsky qualifying in P1, followed by Jiří Kratochwil and Thorsten Leber, Lukas Fischer, Rüdiger Lampe, František Štofko, Marian Satsara, Mike Koch, and then in TCR we've got Sven Mackenberg leading the way in front of Saulius Laurinavicius, Joe Senna, Sebastiano Rossi, Julian Metzner, Colin Barker, Wilfredo Sevilla, and Zul Akihara. I mean, I have to say, this is not a weak grid from any point to look at it. So now we have a 3-minute warm-up session where the drivers can get a feel quickly, but after that we're starting in this 1-hour race. Whoa!
I mean, it's very interesting to see that there's only within about a 10-second gap between the TCRs and GT3s and pace-wise. So I think I don't know how many times the TCRs get left, but I don't think it'll be that many.
Yeah, it'll definitely be. It's a long lap. It's a very long circuit, so it's gonna be interesting if there's anything happening. Oh, we see quite a lot of tire smoke here. That must be a TCR.
Oh, that was just James Bond putting their smoke screen for Lucas Fischer there. But well, the smoke screen is went away.
So yeah, what are we expecting now for this race? I mean, we've already seen that in terms of the GT3s, we have Cody Nikola Latkovsky being quite, well, quite dominant seemingly this time around. However, in TCR, quite the battle for the lead. So this is going to be interesting. Well, do you have any picks for who you think might do well today?
Well, I think it might be safe to assume that a Peugeot will be on the podium in TCRs.
That is one assumption, yes. For example, Saulius Laurinavicius, who qualified in P2, or Joe Senna, who qualified in P3. Both of them are looking quite strong today. Joe Senna, of course, last time around was finished P2, and Saulius Laurinavicius having quite a strong battle before, unfortunately, DNFing in the middle of the race.
Very unfortunate, but I'm trying to think GT3, because GT3 is that tight at the front. It's anyone's game, really, anyone's race. So
I mean, GT3 looked pretty dominant last time around by Cody Nikola Latkovsky, and it seems that the 14 kilograms ballast is also not doing very much to upend that for the other participants. We'll have to see if Jiří Kratochwil can find something in their car in order to stick with the North Macedonian racer.
yeah, it's North Macedonia versus the Czech Republic, which is, well, two nations you would never think would be racing against each other. Which, that's just the wonders of sim racing, don't you think?
Yeah,
From
definitely.
different nations you would never really see race against each other in real life.
I mean, well, we don't have many professional racing drivers from North Macedonia, that is correct. Similarly, we don't have many from Uganda.
We may have got a very rare grid here in Dubai. But, What's your predictions, Julian?
Well, I think I'm going to go with the safe bet. GT3's probably Cody, Nikolai Latkovsky. And in the TCRs... Well, who could it be in the TCRs? I'm just gonna say an underdog. Julian Metzner in the Hyundai. As we are green and the standing start is going on already. Oh, there's quite a lot of tire smoke there by the start, especially from the TCRs at the back, it seems. And let's see, is there going to be any moves? It looks like there are quite a lot of moves being done. They're going into the helicam. Oh, there's touching between the GT3s already.
Still kept it clean though, despite the small bump between the two Porsches, but I'm pretty sure they went 4 wide at the back, didn't they? Maybe it's just illusion from view. Oh, that's an already off.
Oh yeah, there's already quite a lot going on here.
I think they just spun up the curb, but shame to see first lap instance like that.
But crucially, what we're seeing is Jiří Kratochvil actually being able to capitalize on the start. Now in the lead of the race at the moment. Right in front of Cody Nikola Latkovsky. And Lucas Fischer and Torsten Leber are also right behind that, trying to capitalize. In the TCRs, we have a battle right now between Sven Mackenberg and Joe Senna. Oh, and this is coming together in the rear. It looks like there was Julian Metzner involved, as well as Colin Barker. Well,
commentator's curse strikes again.
I'm gonna eat my words, indeed. Yeah, the underdog. Well, that's gonna be a hard battle to catch up there. And it seems that František Štofko also had an issue. Now in the middle of the TCR field. In front, however, there's a battle between Sven Mackenberg and Sebastiano Rossi raging as they're trying to follow Joe Senna in the Peugeot, who is currently in the TCR lead.
Well, the commentator curses striked again, but that is very hard lines for both Barker and Metzner. But at the front, there's definitely a good battle, especially for P3 between the Peugeot and Alfa Romeo.
You might even say the commentator's curse has struck. Yeah, exactly. That is František Štofko making his way through after having an issue earlier. Now only having to overtake Joe Senna, which will be quite easy on the next straight, as, of course, the GT3s have a bit more power to weight ratio, I think.
Oh, I was going to say it's a funny looking TCR, but well, at the moment, oh, there we go. Job's a good one.
Oh, that means Joe Senna lost a bit of time through that, though, having to accommodate the GT3. And that immediately brought Sven Mackenberg, Sebastiano Rossi, and Saulius Laurenovicius right back into the battle.
That's something you don't see much. It's a 4-way battle for the leads in TCRs. This is, we're witnessing history right here.
Oh, yeah, we'll have to see whether Joe Senna can capitalize on that. In the front of GT3s, we also have some battling going on. Sazzaro is on the inside of Lampe, going for the overtake and managing it. Rüdiger Lampe losing the position, the BMW, for now anyways. Might be able to cut back in one of the upcoming corners. But Merian Satsara, Sri Lankan racer, is currently in P5 now after this overtake.
Oh. P6 is currently in a Mercedes sandwich, but let's see how the BMW will try and counter this attack by the silver arrows.
This is, by the way, one of the Valentino Rossi BMWs, and I never noticed it has a KFC sponsor on the front, as we see Mike Koch going for the overtake here on the straight line, and it's going to be the inside, but will it be enough, or will the BMW hang around on the outside? It looks to be Rüdiger Lampe successfully defending here around the outside, and if we go back, now we have the TCRs on the start-finish straight. Will they be able to overtake one another? It looks like Saulius Laurinovic is going for something. Not quite enough side by side with Sebastiano Rossi, however. As they're coming into the first S, and Sebastiano Rossi now trying to overtake Sven Mackenberg here. This is a really hefty battle. 14 kilograms of success bonus, of course, as we see Nikolai Latkovsky has a yellow flag. What is going on here?
That is the grunt.
Yeah, I think the car is just falling. Anyways, we broke physics here, and Sebastiano Rossi is still in a battle, and Nikolai Latkovsky has DNF'd, unfortunately. Rossi is following Mackenberg really closely, going for it. Will this be enough for an overtake? They're already side by side. Sebastiano Rossi on the inside now for the next corner of Sven Mackenberg, and is going to take advantage of this. Will Sven Mackenberg be able to cut back immediately? Not quite, because the next corner is a left-hand corner, and we have been smoke screened.
Just still in awe, but a Peugeot, an Alfa Romeo, and a Volkswagen are all battling together in a race, but it's like this Peugeot will be getting in amongst the middle of the chaos, but yeah, keep door to door. Oh, trying on the outside, Can he make the move stick? Not now. Perhaps make a reverse switchback. Can he get the run around the outside? Not yet. Maybe coming up to the last corner. Maybe can try something up the insides. Too far back.
Seems like they have fanned out a bit too much here, and Sven Mackenberg is now will now have to defend on the start-finish straight. And it looks like we've got the info that Nikolai Latkovsky has gotten disconnected. It was a internet issue. Saulius Laurinovic is going to the inside of Sven Mackenberg, going to try the overtake for P3. However, Sven Mackenberg carrying it out around the outside and is still in front. Beautiful defending there by the German driver in the German car.
Definitely. This Sven is living up to their name of being a Sven.
Absolutely, Sven Mackenberg, beautifully done. Further up ahead, we have Mike Koch currently following Rüdiger Lampe. Still, the two are battling. And it seems like Merian Satsara was able to get away from this battle of the two. Currently trying to catch up to Thorsten Leber to maybe get into those podium positions, which now look to be quite an interesting battle, as Nikolai Latkovsky has unfortunately disconnected, which means Jiří Kratochvil inherits the pretty uncontested lead. Lucas Fischer is right behind that, is second behind that, and a further 2.7 seconds behind that is Thorsten Leber, and only a further 3 seconds behind as well is Merian Satsara. So this might all be coming together a bit more in the upcoming laps. In the TCRs, meanwhile, we still have Saulius Laurinovic looking at that podium right behind Sven Mackenberg, trying to get into the podium places in order to be able to catch up to Rossi and Senna, who are ahead. But of course, do not be fooled. Joe Senna is our Algerian driver, and Sebastiano Rossi is our Italian driver. And right behind that, it looks like Sven Mackenberg is catching up to Rossi. However, Laurinovic is going for it again. Will he be able to outbrake the German this time? It looks like Sven Mackenberg being able to carry more speed, however this time not able to stay in front. Saulius Lodanovičius, our Lithuanian driver, is now in podium position. Well, the TCRs are really not giving each other a single centimeter, are they? Further behind, we also have a battle here going on between Wilfredo Sevilla, Colin Barker, and Julian Metzner. Julian Metzner, of course, being... Julian Metzner and Colin Barker, actually, both of them having been included in an incident early on in the race, so now they will have to try and catch back up with the rest. And it seems like Colin Barker is already taking the opportunity, going on the inside of Wilfredo Sevilla. However, for the next left-hander, Sevilla heading the better line. However, on the cutback, losing both of these positions. Julian Metzner now also ahead, as well as Colin Barker. Now, the next goal for these will be to catch up to Sula Chiara in order to maybe get back into P5. As we switch back to the front battle in the TCRs, we have Saulius Lodanovičius being very close to Sebastiano Rossi, really wanting to get up these positions, get up into P2 for the TCR class. Further behind, we also have Julian Metzner wanting to overtake Colin Barker. I think Julian Metzner thinks he can go quicker than the Brits. These battles are really heating up. It's only 10 minutes in the race right now, into the race. Well, 11, 12 minutes into the race. But there are two big battles in the TCR class currently going on. This battle here for P6 right now. And it seems like Wilfredo Sevilla will not want to let these two just get away. The Alfa Romeo driver from Spain wants to battle with them, wants to really get back his position that he had before, having been overtaken earlier by Metzner and Barker. Further up ahead, it looks like Joe Senna is making a bit of a gap in front of Sebastiano Rossi, because Rossi keeps having to defend from Lodanovičius, who really wants this position too, it seems. Not able to do it so far, as we see quite a lot of tire smoke being tactically deployed here by the TCRs. Saulius Lodanovičius trying to overtake Sebastiano Rossi, trying to get close enough to go for a move, go into the inside, or maybe the outside. We've seen him moves. We've seen one or two moves around the outside already today. There are a few straights after which it's especially possible. Saulius even showed it to us. Tried it a few times against Sven Markenberg at the end of the start-finish straight. And then the final time it then worked. But will it work this time? Will something come to happen at the end of this start-finish straight coming up here? Of course, this is the final corner now, as these cars come onto the start-finish straight once again to start lap 7 now for them. And it looks like Joe Senna is being caught a bit by Sebastiano Rossi, who now has to go defensive, losing the slipstream. And Saulius Lodanovičius not able to overtake, therefore. However, it also looks that Sebastiano Rossi lost a bit of time to Joe Senna thanks to that. Now, these two, they have a strategy that they could do right now. Either they work together in order to catch Joe Senna, or they continue doing what they have been doing. Saulius Lodanovičius trying to get the position, and therefore Sebastiano Rossi having to stay defensive, having to, well, compromise his lines, one might say. That would not be the best situation if they want to go for a win. However, it seems like there's no other choice if they don't want to work together.
Yes.
Alright.
Sorry, I'm just a little quiet.
No worries.
For the viewers, I'm still a little jet lagged, so I will be a little quieter than the average commentary.
That is absolutely okay, as we see Julian Metzner overtaking Colin Barker here, however, for the next corner. Colin Barker has the inside, so Julian Metzner would have to overtake around the outside. And it doesn't look like it's working. Not yet, anyways. Julian Metzner's showing, however, that he's got the pace, and he's got the inside for this corner as well. Colin Barker not giving him an inch or a centimeter, though.
Banging doors, some classic touring car racing we're witnessing right here. But I'm pretty sure Sebastian Rossi is just about to lap them.
Oh no, that's Wilfredo Sevilla right behind them, who they overtook earlier. And it looks like, Julian Metzner again on the inside. Quite a lot of tire smoke coming off of Colin Barker there. But not enough. The inside was there again for Colin Barker. And we go back to the front. Oh, that's some heavy defending there by Sebastiano Rossi, going quite all the way to the pit wall. But Saulius Lodanovic is trying to go for the outside now, having seen that it worked as defending for Sven Markenberg. And they are side by side coming into the S's.
Someone's going to have to give. Oh. Is that a little bit of door banging we just saw?
Oh, that was a bit of door banging we just saw.
This is a new side to Sebastiano Rossi. I saw. Normally it's quite clean, but it's good to see he can get the elbows out when he needs to.
I mean, definitely, if you have an aggressive driver like Saulius Lodanovic, renowned for being quite aggressive. Oh, look at that aggressive line, even trying to go for the inside there. You have to put out the elbows, or otherwise you're just going to get bullied out of the way. And, well, Sebastiano Rossi will definitely not do that.
But the problem is when you have two aggressive drivers racing against each other, an accident is bound to happen at some point. So one will have to give at some point.
Oh.
But
I mean, they keep touching. They keep touching. They keep touching lightly. So far, nothing bad has happened between the two. But they're really giving it their all.
It's good, very entertaining to see. But I love the TCR. You can see all the tire smoke out the corners.
All of the tire smoke whenever you switch to the TCRs. And we have this three-way battle that caught up now to Zula Kihara. So this is now a four-way battle for P5. As Saulius is on the inside of Sebastiano Rossi. However, the next corner is on the inside for Rossi, and so it's not going to be enough. However, maybe the cutback on the exit.
They are neck and neck. Oh, a little bit of bumper rubbing there.
They're definitely rubbing. Oh, and look at the defensive line that Rossi's taking, going all the way to the inside again.
P1 and P4 are definitely loving this, though. It's supposed to be slowing them down right to a halt. As the Volkswagen is just not too far behind.
Oh, look. Right behind this four-way battle, all of them going to the inside. Colin Barker now first to move back to the outside. Zula Kihara still on the inside line. Will this be side by side? Yes, it will be side by side. And Colin Barker getting moved off the racing line there. Now, Julian Metzner has the opportunity to go side by side and overtake for this position. Colin Barker defending it aggressively, though.
Well, that's it must be quite polarizing for Colin Barker. As the two Hyundai Elantras in this race, he's both had an incident with both of them. So I wonder what he's thinking now. Must be getting themselves. These Hyundais are aggressive.
Oh yeah, these
Hyundai trying to pick his battles. Oh!
And that was one battle too much, as we see Colin Barker there, getting into the rear of Zula Kihara and spinning out afterwards. And we see the GT3s are now coming.
In fact, this lap is longer than I suspected. It's only, we're about 19 minutes into the race where the GT3s are starting to lap the back of the TCRs.
No, absolutely. And as you see Zula Kihara here defending from Wilfredo Sevilla. This is now a three-way battle again, and the GT3s are coming up. The GT3s are going to make this battle even more interesting.
It is a common rule in multi-class racing, but the faster class has to make the overtake nice and cleanly. So it will be interesting to see how the TCRs react to the big GT3s. More powerful cars, but I'm enjoying this battle we're having. This is some classic touring car racing we're just watching.
Absolutely, this is touring car racing here, and Zula Kihara still in front of Wilfredo Sevilla, the Hyundai versus the Alfa Romeo. Thank you. And right behind we have now Jiří Kratochvil, the leader of the GT3 is coming, and this is going to be quite a simple overtake. However, 3 seconds down the road from Jiří Kratochvil, we've got Lucas Fischer battling it out with Thorsten Leber. So this is a battle coming up to this battle of TCRs.
I wonder what happened to the Banfield Racing Porsche. Oh. Fischer has been pinched a little bit.
Yeah.
I think if he can stick it around the outside, no. That Porsche is gone.
Yeah, a recap for everyone who's only joining now. Cody Nikolai Latkovsky led the race, did not lead the race, was overtaken quite early on, but qualified in P1. However, unfortunately had a disconnect from the server, as we see Thorsten Leber now, cutting it on the inside!
I'm pretty sure I was with Akihara there, so some multi-class shenanigans have occurred, but this will give Fischer a nice clean run through the inside, well, nice run in the middle.
Exactly, but Thorsten Leber immediately trying to come back. Both of them now going on the inside of the Hyundai. Thorsten Leber, oh, they're coming to a closer. So close between the two. However, they avoid crashing into one another, and the battle can continue between the TCRs. They have a bit of breathing room before Merian Satsara comes up to them, who has Rüdiger Lampe still in tow.
I know some of the cars in the GT3 class has DTM on the banner, but I don't think we'd be seeing some beating bang of DTM cars today.
Well, you never know what you might get, especially if you're racing something as interesting as a multiclass between GT3 and TCRs. Anything is possible, well, except for maybe that an open wheel car turns up suddenly.
Oh, the foreshadowing's unreal.
What do you mean foreshadowing?
I would laugh if there was a banner of like an open wheel car just after you said that. That would be amusing. Very amusing. But it seems there is no open wheelers. But,
not today. Not today.
But I'm just still in awe that we have TCRs and GT3s doing multiclass. The only time that I can recall both doing that is VON, or NEC, I should say. Sorry.
Yes.
VON is the Irish name.
It's been quite a while since we last did something like this in RaceRoom, especially as we see Merian Satsara and Rüdiger Lampe now trying to navigate this TCR field. Oh, this was a good overtake here by Merian Satsara. Rüdiger Lampe a bit stuck behind the Hyundai there on exit, losing a bit of time to the Sri Lankan.
I'm not out of the whip of RaceRoom. I remember back in the day when the Ferrari, which everyone would race, was the 4A Evo.
Yeah, they have the 296 in the meanwhile. We actually have 296 in the lead with Jiří Kratochvil, who's currently lapping Sven Mackenberg here. And coming up to the battle between Sebastiano Rossi and Saulius Laurinavicius, which is still raging on. And they're coming together. It looks like Saulius Laurinavicius almost spinning out there, coming into the rear of Sebastiano Rossi. And this is going to be easy for Jiří Kratochvil to capitalize on that. The two are currently not battling the TCRs, so Jiří just can go through and will easily do that.
The good thing I love about TCRs is when you're in a half spin like that, with a front wheel drive car, you can just mash the throttle and it will just straighten back car. That's really good to see in the TCRs. A lot easier doing the TCRs than the GT3s, in fact.
Oh yeah, the TCRs, of course, they do not have anti-lock braking systems, So, yeah, braking is a bit easy on GT3s.
I mean, when you're in a half spin, like we just saw that TCR.
Oh yeah,
But,
also that because they're front-wheel driven cars.
yes. But talking about my last time in RaceRoom, I found it very amusing. Back when I used to do racing in the RaceRoom for that one race, many moons ago, there was a Red Bull Ferrari at the front, and well, this time round there's a Ferrari with a Red Bull sponsorship at the front as well.
Towards the front, yes,
And it all
indeed.
goes comes in fact it was two Red Bull affiliated Ferraris last time I remember, and in this race there was two Red Bull affiliated Ferraris again.
What race are you referencing? I'm not getting it.
IWGTC Season 2 at Hockenheim, Round 5.
Oh, that was a long time ago. Of course, I think the stream for that is up on
Still up.
YouTube.
It is still up.
So, yeah, but it must have been like 4 years ago at this point, right?
That is nearly 3 years ago. That's where I made my tracc.eu debut, fun enough.
Exactly, and now you're part of the staff for the second time.
Yes.
After a brief hiatus.
Electric Boogaloo. Some may say.
Exactly. But yeah, Saulus Lodanovicius as we're coming onto the start-finish straight here. Really close. There's a yellow flag for Sven Muckenberg. Oh! That looks like a beached VW.
Oh, somebody might have to get the jacks out, but well, that's something you don't see every day, is a car getting beached. But
well, it was probably
there?
mechanical, and they just got, well, they didn't get beached, but they just stopped at the side of the road. So
it's Mackenberg art in the Volkswagen,
that's,
which is a shame to see, but
that is funnily,
that's racing for you.
Yeah, it is racing, and that's also the only two DNFs we currently have are podium finishes from the last round at Laguna Seca.
Two Volkswagen Audi Group cars as well, may we add.
Yes. Yes, you're right.
I bet you didn't notice that.
No, I did not. I did not. Porsche for me is just so unique. Well, yeah, Porsche is unique enough for me to be able to forget that, I guess. Well, that was very wide there by Sebastiano Rossi, really playing with the track limits.
I feel like that Peugeot, the number 70 Peugeot, will catch the Alpha though, with some of the lines that Rossi has been taking. There's just how aggressive the Peugeot is. It's, well, I'm quite in awe, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, these two really not giving each other any space whatsoever. We saw them come together earlier on, so Saulius just catching back up. I just wonder, I really wonder, is Saulius Laurinovic going to be a similar driver to me, as in you're doing better when you have a reference in front? I do much better when I have a reference in front than once I've overtaken. As the both of them come together, Sebastiano Rossi braking and Saulius Laurinovic just tagging the back. Both of them go wide here, and Saulius Laurinovic is not able to get the advantage on Rossi. So Rossi is still in P2. However, both of them are now over 3 seconds down on Joe Senna.
That's two damaged cars here, but it's still good to see that somehow Rossi kept onto that P2 despite going off track there. As we go back to the other Alfa Romeo in the TCR class. Suakihara, which is not up to in the top 5.
That was a bit of a sideways action there, coming out of the S's for Zula Kihara. Really throwing that car into each corner whenever possible.
As you may have just saw a few seconds back, is so Akihara has a drive-through.
Or ignoring
First-
slowdown warnings. Oh.
That's something you don't see in ACC or iRacing, ladies and gentlemen.
No.
But
on an iRacing
that
you
is
can.
one. Oh, can you?
But yeah, in iRacing they also have the
My apologies.
slowdown after you cut a track, right?
Maybe I'm just too queen of a driver to notice.
That was a good joke.
That is indeed a joke.
But yeah, that's very unfortunate for Zula Akihara now having to do a drive-through. We're halfway through the race so far, and this is going to throw a spanner into the works of what Zula Akihara has been trying to accomplish.
You know, I have noticed, Julian.
What's that?
Is I have been quite how should I put it? I should put maybe quite observant, but a fun little fact: the two of the TCR cars in this race are running liveries by ex-British touring car drivers. Well, one is not a current returning British touring car champion, and the other is, I'm not sure if it's retired or still racing.
Who are you on about?
So Colin Barker is running a Gordon Shedden Audi RS3, and the Alfa Romeo just ahead of him, the number 88 car, is a Fabrizio Giovanardi car.
Oh, both of them former or returning.
Former British touring car champions.
Well, that is interesting.
Here's your fun trivia of the race.
Nice, nice.
I'm pretty sure Fabrizio Giovanardi was in 07 and 08, but I would have to quickly look that up. But I know Shedden's a three-time champion.
You know what we should do at some point? British Touring Car Championship.
I would 100% be done for that.
I knew you would. But you would have to watch out that I don't rope you into the commentary booth for your historical knowledge.
In fact, I was correct. It was 2007 and 2008. Fabrizio Giovanardi was the British touring car champion.
Wow.
Which, fun enough, I actually got to see him race in both years in my local racetrack.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
I'm pretty sure he raced the Astra and the Vectra.
Okay, now that is goated. Winning with the Opals, yeah. I mean, 100% supported now. Oh, not the Vauxhalls, because it's UK. I'm sorry.
I was about to say, you'd have a certain member of staff wouldn't be too appreciative of calling a Vauxhall an Opal. Even though they're the same thing.
At that point, they were already just rebadges.
Oh, they had been for like 20 odd years before that.
Exactly. Wait, so long? Really? I thought Vauxhall still had their original cars up until like well, one of them at least, up until like 2000.
Probably not, but
all right, fair enough.
I only really know about their racing escapades.
What I know is that Thorsten Leber is getting racy here with Lucas Fischer trying to go for that P2 position.
But I will say I was incorrect. Giovanardi won only in the Vectra. I was thinking 2006, where he made his debut in the British touring cars on Astra.
That's okay. Both is Opal, both is perfect. It's Thorsten Leber!
Member with...
Thorsten Leber coming into the rear of Lucas Fischer right now, letting him stay in front, however, it seems.
Yeah, that's a very gentleman move.
Yeah,
That is very nice to see.
The stewards will look kindly upon that.
Yes. Maybe Fischer may appreciate the kind gesture back.
I mean, he will probably not let him overtake.
But it probably will not feel as bad.
Well,
Is what we should say.
yeah, fair enough. It is a fine move by Thorsten Leber here. It seems like the two Germans being gentlemanly towards one another.
We need more of that in racing, I'd say.
You say that as a BTCC fan, that is sort of, yeah.
Unheard of.
I mean, if John Cleland can go for first, then anything is fine.
I don't know what you're getting at, but yes, I did meet the legend himself 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you did. That is amazing as well.
And I told him that we often quote, "I'm going for first," when he left. So, never know. Perhaps we'll have a TCR race at Oschersleben, the corner where he thinks somebody who should get. Well, we can't really say that on broadcast, but
yes,
something not very nice.
Yes, we can say that. He said it on broadcast as well.
To be fair, he said that on national television.
He said that on national television, exactly. And he maybe got the toot telling off afterwards, but he, yeah. Of course, he said that the person who designed the first corner should be taken into a dark room and beat about the head. Now, of course, we don't condone violence around here. I'm not going to, and I'm not going to say a but or a however after this. No. It's a bad corner. The right-hand left corner in Oschersleben is bad. I'm glad they don't race there anymore.
I'm glad for VTCR we did that. I purposely chose that corner for the meme.
Yeah, of course you did. For the meme.
I'm pretty sure we're there.
Yes, unfortunately I was.
But back on topic. It's. I will say I love seeing the Alfa Romeo back in touring cars because it is good to see Alfa Romeo doing something which is not sponsoring backmarket Formula 1 teams.
Shots fired, as they say, as Sebastiano Rossi still being very defensive here in the Alfa Romeo. Of course, we have the Italian driver. He must go for the Italian car. And I, of course, did the Italian hand signal while saying that.
I think Rossi will appreciate that. He probably knows, if he rewatches the VOD, he'll probably know that you've done the Italian sign of my goodness gracious me.
My goodness gracious me. Thumb, middle finger and index finger pointed together, ring finger and small little finger in a fist and jerking the wrist.
Hand gesture.
Yes.
But
beautiful hand
I've
gesture.
noticed
Yeah.
a 43 seconds gap from Senna and Rossi. Apparently so.
Oh, there's a 3-second gap, a 4-second gap.
So the timing with the board on the left is counting as porky pies, we say in Britain.
Well, it just says +1 lap because, well, the TCRs are a lap down from the.
Oh, I think I'm going to see a move.
Yeah. Oh, is it going to be the cutback here? Not quite. Saulis Loranovic is coming very close, but we see Joe Senna right there up ahead.
Rossi must be cooking those front tires, defending for everything he's got.
Oh, I mean,
But,
that's TCRs for you, isn't it? Burning the front.
Yes.
But yeah, Saulius Laurinavicius wants to make this a Peugeot 1-2 in TCRs, similarly to what we've currently got in GT3, with a 1-2 between two Ferraris. Of course, Lucas Fischer in P2 and Jiří Katrochwil still in the lead in P1.
You know, I'd love to see in this championship. I'm not sure if RaceRoom has it, but I'd love to see a Citroen.
There. Okay, I'm not sure. Didn't Citroen stop after the TCRs got introduced? I think they stopped with the last WTCC season.
I remember Sebastian Loeb driving with Citroen. That's all I remember.
Yeah,
WTC.
I think they exited after the new TCR the 2018 TCR regulations came in.
2018, that's still new, right? Right?
Right. Yeah, that's when the Bentley Continental GT3 Evo came out, so I still consider that new.
We call it new, yet it's been 7 years. Oh, how time flies when you're having fun.
Oh,
But,
yeah. But yeah, there are Citroens in WTCC. Unfortunately, they are not quite on bop with the WTCRs in RaceRoom, so it would have to be more of a classic racing. That with 2017 cars, yeah.
Classic in 2017, don't sound nice to give her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel old now.
Yes, we all feel old now. But that is an old regulation, unfortunately, now.
But I'll tell you what isn't old is the classic formula of touring cars. I think that's a timeless recipe.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. I mean, look at all of the racing that we've seen between. We don't have the biggest field today, 8 TCR starting, 8 GT3 starting, but look at the battling going on between the TCRs. That is some touring car action. Saulius trying to go for it again. Coming into the last corner now, Rossi going defensive. That will surely hinder him on the straights as Laurenovicius goes for the inside. The cutback is coming there side by side with one another now. Now it's just a question of who got the better exit, who got the better straight line speed. As they're still side by side, the first corner is already coming up and it looks like Sebastiano is slightly ahead. But Laurenovicius, the exit. Not the best exit out of the first corner here, and Rossi able to defend the position after all. Wow.
Really good driving with the both of them.
Absolutely.
Rossi just had the edge on the outside there. But I've just noticed we have another unfortunate DNF in this race with Zoe Kihara in the Hyundai Elantra.
Yeah, after the drive-through, I think that sort of was it for Zula Kihara's aspirations today.
It's just so. I think I'm just so starstruck. It's a Peugeot and Alfa Romeo battling against each other for position.
Oh yeah, a Peugeot and an Alfa Romeo. That is something beautiful to witness, isn't it? These two brands like that. If there was now just an Opel part of that as well, I would be happy as a clam.
Happy as a clam. I've never heard that one before.
Is that not a normal British saying?
No.
Happy? Okay, I'm gonna have to Google that now. Happy as a clam.
But while you do your searching online, we have something a bit more familiar for our tracc.euers, our in 992 generation Porsche versus 296 Ferrari. Both GT3s. Quite understandable, we was focused more on the TCRs, it's been closer racing, but this battle for P2 overall and in GT3 is still raging on. The Germans are against each other.
Exactly, there's a new battle coming into the fray right now. As I have actually looked it up, happy as a clam is an US idiom. So, yeah, it's not a British thing to say, but I have heard it in... I guess I will have heard it in sitcoms, in American sitcoms. As we see Colin Barker is now caught up to Wilfredo Sevilla.
Heard it in Friends.
In Friends, yeah.
Or Seinfeld.
Seinfeld. Oh, holy hell. Now, that is making me feel old.
To quote you in the past, holy mackerel.
Holy mackerel, yes. That's something I still say, as we see Lucas Fischer overtaking this battle for between Colin Barker and Wilfredo Sevilla. Oh, and this will bring Thorsten Leber even closer, because this was not on the cards to be caught up between an Alfa and a
Audi.
Audi. Thank you.
2 Italian cars and 2 German cars there. But
Absolutely, yeah.
I think the one who was the most there was Colin Barker, in fact, in Audi. But Alfa Romeo just pretty much was kind of got the lucky pass there with the 2 GT3s just swooping right and just flying by on the straight.
I mean, if you're in a battle in the lower class, you're sort of the poor sod if you're the one following in the battle, because you're the first one who has to give way, and the car in front that you're battling with might have a bit of a chance to react to whatever you're doing. So it's always a difficult position to be the one trailing while being lapped.
But this is definitely not hindered Colin Barker too much. He's taking this in the chin, which is really good. Because he's still sticking with Alfa Romeo ahead of him.
Oh yeah.
I just love seeing the names Shedden and Giovinardi together. That makes me feel happy. I feel nice and warm and fuzzy inside.
And we have found a positive thing about the fact that RaceRoom does not feature custom liveries. That is nice.
I love seeing the old liveries, especially when the TCRs, which have been running for years, like the Audi and such.
Oh, as we go further up ahead, Torsten Leber looking for a way past Lucas Fischer again. This is the battle for P2 in the GT3 class. This is huge as well. It's between 20 or 16 points for the championship. And of course, as we know, this championship has VRP points. So every podium finisher at the end of the championship in both classes will get 500 VRP, as well as one random driver that did a minimum of 6 races, if I recall correctly.
I don't know what that is.
That is the in-game currency for RaceRoom. So with that, you can buy further DLC for RaceRoom.
Yes.
Yeah.
I assume so.
For example, you could buy an Alfa Romeo or a Peugeot TCR. Because look at how they're going.
Yeah, you could buy the car you're seeing right now.
And for much cheaper than they would cost IRL, trust me.
Yes. But in all honesty, I think these cars would be cheaper in the TCR scale as they are older cars.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably, probably only get them used nowadays, which would immediately make them cheaper.
But I'm pretty sure the only place I still know the Alfa Romeo races is, I think, the IMSA Michelin Pilot Sport Challenge. I don't know where the Perga race is. I think that's...
I mean, both of them might race in more localized series. So Italian, I think there's an Italian TCR series, for example, and that would be a hotspot for Alfa Romeos if you ever want to see them, I guess.
Personally, if there's the one TCR I'd love to see race in person is the Opel.
Which participated last year in the Vallelunga WTCR race. Oh, not WTCR, TCR World Tour it is now, I think. And there, an Austrian driver participated with an Opel Astra. So, fun fact, Sebastiano Rossi, who is currently defending for his life from Laura Navicius, was at that event and witnessed the Opel racing live. Beautiful.
Yeah, in fact, here's a question for you, Julian.
Yes.
Have you ever seen TCR racing in person?
Unfortunately, I haven't seen it in person. I would love to go to Salzburgring the next time they come around.
I would highly recommend it. Because I was quite fortunate enough to watch TCR UK the last time they came to Knock Hill. I will say TCR cars are really loud.
Yeah, I imagine, and I also imagine that they will be extremely action-packed in a small circuit like Knock Hill.
Where, funnily enough, in track we hosted the last race of WTCR a few months ago at Knock Hill, my home track.
Indeed we did. And we see right here the battle of Lucas Fischer and Thorsten Leber now managed to get past the battle for P2 in the TCRs. Oh!
Ooh.
And it looks like they're side by side now coming into the S's, and Thorsten Leber actually got the better of it. No! Lucas Fischer back on the inside. What was that? Oh! That was the rear getting loosey-goosey on the Porsche.
That's, the rears are starting to get cooked in the Porsche, as all the weight is in the rear engine car, rear wheel drive.
Also,
It can only last so long.
indeed, and also the fuel tank will be getting lighter. The fuel tank, of course, is in the front, so there will be more weight on the rear now, so it will be easier to spin out the car with the same TCR settings.
A common way to counteract that is putting a lot more fuel in the front when you need.
Yes,
Which,
but we're also coming towards the end of a 1 hour stint here. You cannot forget, GT3 cars have about 1 hour and 10 minutes maximum fuel capacity.
Yes. It also depends on the series and the BOP. So, roughly last around about an hour.
Roughly.
We see.
Yeah.
I still think was it a 10-second gap from Fischer to I don't know how you pronounce that name. Crashville?
There's a 10-second gap right now as we see Colin Barker and Wilfredo Sevilla being overtaken. And Thorsten Leber!
Whoa!
Oh, we just talked about it, and it seems the rear was a bit too light there as well. And now Saulius Laurenovicius can maybe capitalize on that confusion.
I'm pretty sure Weber just hit the wall there on the front end.
Oh, yeah,
he was rolling back on the track, and he didn't know. He didn't hold his brakes, so
or it
was
a sketchy rejoin. Who knows? The stewards will take a look at that afterwards, but look at that defensive line being taken time and time again by Sebastiano Rossi.
I think Rossi is going to be gaining the. I think he'll be joining me in the tracc.eu ranks of Minister of Defenses.
Oh yeah,
the Italian Minister of Defense.
The Italian Minister of Defense. Well, that is absolutely a title that looks to be fitting after this race today. And there's again 2 GT3s coming. This will be Sazzara and Lampe, who are now close to one another once again. Oh, Laurinovic is going very wide here, trying to accommodate the GT3s on the inside.
Still, for me, I think it's GT3 should pass offline and safely, but I maybe that's just me thinking more with prototypes and such. Well, I'm normally in the Sora class car. But I've just noticed that BMW, if you look at the front, the banner, it says Dubai, which it's very fitting for this track.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is a livery that participated in the 12 hours of Abu Dhabi.
Pretty sure it's a 24. Yeah, 24H series.
Is it 24 hours, the race?
24 hours of Dubai.
No, but I'm talking about Yas Marina. I think that car usually participates in Yas Marina, which is a different circuit.
Yes. One which a lot of people online have very strong opinions about.
Exactly.
Not often good.
Exactly. Oh, but we see here Colin Barker battling it out with Wilfredo Sevilla again, and a bit ahead even now, right now. On the outside, however, Wilfredo Sevilla having the inside line. Let's see how this will turn out. The next corner is a left-hander. Colin Barker is on the inside for that, so looks poised to finally get this overtake done.
I think Barker might have a good amount of damage, but I'm not sure. Even with the damage, he's still got himself up, dusted all the damage off. Well, all the dust off, and just grit his teeth and go on with it.
That is true. Colin Barker was...
You'll love to see.
Yeah, you'll have to see it. And it is true. Colin Barker was involved in an incident in lap 1, which meant both Colin Barker and Julian Metzner got turned around at one point. That's probably the main reason why they're not battling up ahead with Saulius Laurinavicius and Sebastiano Rossi at the moment. However, we also have this battle between the BMW that we just talked about, Rüdiger Lampe, and Merian Satsara. This is, of course, again, the battle between the German and the Sri Lankan, and the German looking to make it a German 2-3-4. As there's some tight battling going on between Laurinavicius and Rossi once again.
See, now I'm not sure. I think the Peugeot, even with like the gap ahead, just how aggressive it is. It might get by Rossi. I'm not sure though, but Rossi is being very defensive. Normally, when you have both of those kind of drivers, you normally get yourself at a stalemate until one cracks.
I mean, we only have 4 more minutes. It's going to be a couple more laps for all of these drivers. Yes, they're doing over 2-minute lap times, especially. As we see that there's also a battle going on. Satsara is being overtaken by Lampe. It seems Lampe on the outside here in T1, making the move stick into the S's first. And Satsara has to bow back into P5-4 now. Let's see, Satsara
Very close.
wants to immediately go back for the attack. Not quite close enough in around that corner.
Sticking with him. Oh.
Yeah, this is always a sketchy corner to go for an overtake, but always one of the most favored ones, simply because there are so many different lines you could theoretically take on the entry. Hugely wide, way too wide. Well, not way too wide. There are still collisions happening, but it's immense. It's massive.
Gargantuan, some may say.
Gargantuan. Oh, is Satsara getting the better line through this right hand?
Oh, lovely.
Whoa, beautiful. Coming out in top, as we also see the battle just behind there. Saulius Laurinavicius in front, but around the outside. But now has the inside for the next left-hander. Can Sebastiano Rossi go for the cutback? Oh, they come together. They touch, but Saulius Laurinavicius, ladies and gentlemen, seems to be in front for now.
I think Rossi maybe. I think the roles may switch. I think the Peugeot will be a bit more defensive now, and the Alfa a bit more aggressive. So you have to be careful because that Audi's not too far behind.
And the problem in this situation for Rossi is he knows very little about how Laurinavicius defends. Because all of this time, Laurinavicius was behind Rossi, looking at what lines Rossi is taking as a leading driver. But now it's only switched for the first time, and they are approaching the final lap of the race.
I wouldn't put Rossi out at the count yet, but there is a GT3, so who knows? That's a span in the works. Oh! This is definitely aggressive.
Oh my holy hell, what is going on right now? Yeah, those two really want to battle. Oh!
I didn't think. I don't think I've ever saw Rossi this aggressive in a race ever. So this is a new side to him, I'm seeing.
That is absolutely a powerful statement, going so aggressively into position
Within the
there.
first half.
That is... Sebastiano Rossi definitely wants his position. As we see Marian Satsara with the yellow flag. Sebastiano Rossi trying to go for the undercut here. On the outside. This is the overtake that worked for Laura Novicius last time around. But it will not work for Sebastiano Rossi right this second. Maybe the undercut.
Oh, what a move.
It's not over yet. The two coming together into the left-hander. It looks like Saulius Laurinovic is on the inside still. But the next corner is a right-hander. Rossi is on the inside for it. And it looks like Rossi is coming back into this position. The timer has stopped. So whatever happens now, Jiří Kratochvil is on the last lap. There is still this battle going on between the TCRs, however. Saulius Laurinovicius is right next to Sebastiano Rossi. Rossi in front for this left-hander.
Oh. Peugeot might have overcooked it there, but that might have given Rossi a little bit of a buffer there.
That has given Rossi a bit of grieving, not grieving, breathing room.
A bit of grieving.
No. We're not grieving today. Jiří Kratochvil is in the lead, coming up into the second, well, in the middle of the second sector, I believe, right now. So half a lap more to go for this magnificent run by the Czech driver. 8 seconds ahead. And having led almost the entire race directly from overtaking Cody Nikola Latkovsky at the start line.
Curious to see how that battle with Rossi and the Peugeot are doing. I'm just, it's so on edge.
It seems like the two have now made up their positions. 1.5 seconds between the two as we see Jiří Kratochvil coming around the finish line. The race is over. Jiří Kratochvil is your race winner today. Right behind that we have Lucas Fischer. This is 2 Ferraris finishing in 1P1 and 2. And right behind that we have Torsten Leber in the Porsche finishing on the podium.
That's 2 Red Bull Ferraris, amusingly.
Yes.
Oh. That's a destroyed Porsche.
That might very well be a destroyed Porsche. That's also good about sim racing. You don't need to pay for repairs. As Rüdiger Lampe comes across the line in P4, Marian Satsara comes across the line in P5, and Mike Koch in P6. Looks like František Štofko will be P7 in the GT3 class. And next up, Joe Senna. Also, quite a commanding lead today by the Peugeot driver from Algeria. Winning the race in the TCR class now. And Sebastiano Rossi, after that last bit of hard racing that we have seen, all race between the two, manages to eke out a distance in front of Saulius Laurinovicius, the two finishing in 2 and 3 respectively. Now we have Julian Metzner, who is going to finish in P4, coming around the last corner right now. And it looks like everything has fanned out over the course of these last few minutes. Colin Barker coming around to finish in P5 in class, and Wilfredo Sevilla finishing in P6. Unfortunately, we have 3 DNFs today. Zula Kihara, Sven Mackenberg, and Cody Nikola Latkovsky. However, that means... Oh, we have 30 seconds of penalty for Satsara. What happened there?
What's happened there?
That's interesting. Oh, we will have to check whatever happened in the end there. Your race winner of the day is Jiří Kratochvil And I'm sorry for butchering that name. I'm not the best Czech speaker. Fastest lap, interestingly, going to Thorsten Leber, who has been really trying to overtake Lucas Fischer. Not able to do so in the end. But yeah, wow. This was a race.
Very action-packed race.
Ah, absolutely. Whoa. What can we take away from that?
But this track can produce some very good racing in both GT3 and TCR. That's quite a rarity, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. It is. Whoa.
But I don't know. I kind of want to do a few laps there now.
It is definitely a good circuit.
I think that's one of the biggest compliments you can get from a commentator who's not driven the track before.
Yeah, definitely. I'm also itching a bit to try it out once again. However, maybe another day. Well, first of all, I'm gonna have to say, next week we are going to be back for the next race, which will of course be. Let me look that up. I am prepared as always. Three, two, one. Ah. Wow. Okay. Next race, of course, will happen at the beautiful Suzuka circuit, Grand Prix layouts. This time we will be racing. And yeah, it will be around the same time next week. So hopefully we can see you there for another beautiful race between TCRs and GT3s. Any last words, Jordan, before we go on our merry way?
All I'm gonna say is thank you for having me.
No problem. Whenever you want, we can do this again. Maybe next week, maybe not. Who knows? We will see. But I will also thank all of the viewers for watching today, all of the racers for racing today, and all of our Patreons as well for supporting us financially. Hosting servers is not cheap, and these streams isn't either. So, if you could also check out our Patreon. It is linked down below in the description. Maybe support us there. Thank you anyways for watching, and I will see you on the racetrack.